Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a long time since I've done a video, but I got CBCS submission back after it being gone for about a year, and the results were pretty awesome. So I do know all the grades for these books. I couldn't wait, but I wanted to share it. So I'm just going to get right into it. We'll talk about the books as we go. This was a modern submission. There's 24 books. All these were pressed by CBCS. So we'll start off with the first book. We got X-Men Annual number 14, first published appearance of Gambit. Obviously 266 is always going to be the bigger book, but I've come to really appreciate this book in recent years, mainly because of the Art Adams cover and the fact that it is the second biggest Gambit key. So this is my childhood copy. I've had this one for forever. It was high grade, but it's a square bound book, so I wasn't really sure where it was going to end up. I figured it'd be high grade, but ended up getting a 9.8. Very good start. Very happy. Awesome book. White pages. Most of the books in this submission I figured were going to be higher grade, with a few exceptions. When I sent this in, I think there was talk about Jolt in the Falcon Winter Soldier show. So this is Thunderbolts number 4, first appearance of Jolt. What's cool about this one, though, is it's a newsstand copy, so much harder to find. This one came back a 9.6. So, still a cool book. It's got some spec potential still. Here's another childhood book. I've had this one again since I was very young. Real clean copy of Spawn number 1. Everybody knows this book. Everybody has this book. And we got it in a 9.8. So very happy with that, obviously. Yeah, so this was gone for a year from the time I sent it. I just got it back this is May now, so yeah, I got it back last month. It was gone for 12 months. Next up, we got Hell Arisen number 3, so you can kind of determine when I sent the submission in the kind of books that were hot. But I'm a big fan of Punchline, so I think this is a great book. This is her first full appearance. Came back at 9.8. As it should. As it should, being a newer book. There's some pretty big books in this submission, by the way, so this is a book I really like too. This is Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace issue number 3. There's a lot of books that take credit for first Darth Maul. But if you look inside, like issue 1 and 2, they're cameos, in the finest sense. I mean, he appears in like one panel in the first issue as a hologram, and then in the second issue, he's in like 2 to 3 panels, but one he's got like binoculars up to his face, so you don't really see him. And now here he is on the cover and full in the book. This is what I would consider the first full appearance of Darth Maul. And got a 9.8. Oh, this next one's a good one. I found 3 of these at cover price at my LCS one day. I sold 2 raw, and then I kept the best one for myself and finally got it graded. So Darth Vader issue number 3, the 4th print, first appearance Dr. Aphra, big spec book, super popular. And the 4th print is the one that commands the most out of the standard prints. Obviously, there's the one in 25, but this 4th print is quite quite pricey. And I had this pegged as a high grade, yeah, like a 9.6, maybe a 9.8. Got a 9.8, so very, very happy with that. Obviously, there's a premium at the 9.8 on books like this, so pretty stellar. Yeah. I would say the majority of these books, I anticipated 9.6s on most of these books. So that's kind of where my head was at going in when I was going through and getting some of those 9.8s. They felt like bonuses. Next up, another one that's caught some heat and attention recently. Bloodstone #1. Looks like we've got casting potentially. I'm not entirely convinced that that's all legit, but I feel like they would have cast somebody younger. Not to say that, Laura Donnelly couldn't play the part, but I think she's like in her early 40s, and Elsa Bloodstone's always come across as a younger character to me, but we'll see. Again, this book, pretty high grade. Again, I had it at a 9.6. What did we get? Another 9.8. Yep. This is a great book. I love this book. It's kind of pricey now. I mean, you can still get a raw copy, but you're still going to be paying like a couple $100 or a few $100 for a high grade raw copy. Next up, this one's, I feel like, has cooled off a little bit, maybe just because there's not a lot of conversation right now, but Invincible Iron Man #9, first appearance of Riri Williams. Still a good book, though. This one, yeah, again, like I found this for cover price like a year ago in the back issue bin. Like they just, I don't know, they didn't know what it was, I guess. I mean, check those back issue bins. That's where I get most of my big books from. Just digging. And this came back a 9.6. So I think when I graded this one, I actually thought it'd be like a 9.4, 9.6. So I'm very happy with the 9.6. You can see 2 spine ticks. Actually 3. So I'll take a 9.6 on that book very happily. Next one, I got 3 copies in this submission, so I'll just zoom through. I love this cover. This is New Agents of Atlas, or War of the Realms, New Agents of Atlas #1. This is the second print. So New Agents of Atlas, host of first appearances. My particular favorite spec play is Luna Snow, and she's featured on the cover, and a lot of the variants feature Luna Snow. So this is not an expensive book as it stands, but I think in time it could be. I think there's half as many on the census. I know the first print there were tons of copies, so there's gonna be far less of the second print. Anyways, we end up getting a 9.8. Yes, again, as expected. But yeah, first appearance of Wave, Crescent, EO, Luna Snow, and first appearance of Arrow in American comics. So great book. And I've got a couple of the first prints in 9.8 too, so I'm just kind of hoarding them. So there's a couple more there. All right, moving through the stack nicely here. Here's one. I don't know where this book is going to wind up. Marvel Now #1, #1. First full appearance of Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. Obviously, we've got the show on the horizon. I don't know what to expect from that show, but I feel like the projects that I have the least expectations going into, as far as MCU projects go, are the ones that end up impressing me the most. So we'll see. But anyways, obviously fairly big book again. This one, it's a very thick book. So I had this one pegged again, 9.4, 9.6, little rub in the corner, not rub, but like almost like a bindery tear, I guess. What do we get? 9.6. Okay, not bad. We'll take it. No strikeouts anyway. Not yet. Again, being that these books were submitted 12 months ago, we got another punchline. I like this book too. Very small cameo, but it's a Batman key, so always happy to have Batman first appearances. And what did we get on this one? As expected, 9.8. So good stuff. Got a few of those too, hoarding those. Punchline's a character I believe in long term, so we'll see. Here's a book that got really hot and cooled off just as, you probably saw that, cooled off just as fast. But this is for me. I like 90s X-Men, Jim Lee, all day. So and this is my only copy of this now. I sold off all the others. So first appearance of Omega Red, X-Men number 4, 9.8. So he didn't show up in the Falcon Winter Soldier, but I don't think you can go wrong specking on X-Men first appearances at this point in time, because we're going to go through that whole spec cycle on like every X-Men character. Every one of them is going to get a jolt, a spec jolt. All right, next up, another awesome Star Wars book. Star Wars number 6, first full appearance of most of the Rebels characters. So Sabine Wren, Hera Syndulla, Ezra, I forget all the rest. Sabine's the big one. I found this in a dollar bin. 9.6. So for $1 investment, that's pretty good. And it looks like a 9.6 to me. That's the reason why I submit through CBCS, actually, is I just find their grading more consistent. That's not to say that I don't like CGC, but just based on the books that I've had and look up close at, CBCS has always been more consistent with their grading, just in my experience. So here's an interesting one you don't see all the time. Kanan the Last Padawan number 1. So you could argue, I guess, this is the first cameo appearance of all those characters I just mentioned, because they're on the first page of the book. But I think that's it, just the first page. What does it say, actually? First Kanan in his own title, first appearance of all those characters in cameo. Okay, so they credit it as first cameo. Now this is the 1 in 25 variant, so I think there's tons of the first print. The second print is quite desirable, and this is the 1 in 25. So this one had a pretty massive, well, not massive, but it had a good spine bend on it that broke color. I only spent $15 on it at the time. I was wondering to see if it would press out. I honestly thought I was going to get like a 9 when I sent it in. They did a pretty good job pressing it, though, and actually ended up coming back a 9.4. So pretty pleased with that. That exceeded my expectations. I thought even at like a 9 or something like that, it's a cool book that's fairly uncommon. And a lot of these Star Wars books, they're staying with me for the time being. Another Batman book. This is probably one of the more underrated modern Batman books, I would think, being how important Damian is to the overall Batman narrative. But this is Batman 655, first appearance of Damian, technically in cameo, but I think this is the one that everyone looks at as his first appearance. This was higher grade too. I mean, I gave this. See, a lot of these had like one or two, maybe little like not color breaking actually. Sorry, non-color breaking spine ticks. Most of them pressed out. I can still see where they were, but I mean, again, I'm in that like 9.6. I'm appointing most of these 9.6s, but I got a 9.8 on this one as well. So I don't know if I'm just being harsh or what, because generally speaking, based on my previous submissions, CBCS is pretty tough, pretty unforgiving, but they're strict. So to be pulling these 9.8s, I mean, I was just floored when I was seeing these grades. And we didn't run the gamut, but we did pretty well, I think. Getting into some bigger books after. Well, this is a bigger book too, I guess. Here's another childhood book. Again, I had this one since I was like, I don't know, 12 or 13. Like, I've had this book for a long time. Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 16. First appearance of Monica Rambeau. Obviously, saw her in WandaVision. She's going to be in the Marvels. Her mom's going to be in Doctor Strange 2. So we'll see how that all goes. Really cool book. This was a really clean copy. I actually, when I looked at this one, I was thinking that it maybe had a shot. Again, 9.6 range. There's like one tick there, and one on the back. Actually, that one probably should have pressed out. But again, this is a thick book too. But we ended up pulling a 9.6. So not bad. Not bad. I'll take a 9.6. Cool book. First appearance and origin of Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel. There's so many good first appearances in that Amazing Spider-Man run. Oh, this is a good one. So this is Star Wars number 1, 1977. The original, the OG, not the reprint. This was a CGC 9.2 that I had, and I saw that there were what looked to be a couple pressable defects on it. And from what I could tell, the only defects on it were pressable. So when I sent it in, I was thinking, again, it was 9.2. I was thinking maybe 9. I mean, at least a 9.4. I thought maybe a 9.6, maybe a 9.6. And when I got it back, we got a 9.8. Yeah, that one really surprised me. That's a big book to be getting a 9.8 on. I forgot, I looked up the census numbers on this one to see how many there were. There's a decent amount of 9.8s, but I mean, still, that's you don't see 9.8 of this book every day. That's tough. So I was blown away when I saw this, and it's making me want to look for other CPR opportunities, because from a CGC 9.2, it was in the old case, not the Gen 1, but the old case. And yeah, I mean, it was pretty noticeable right away that there were some issues that could be corrected, but never in my wildest dreams did I think it would pull a 9.8. So my jaw hit the floor when I saw this. This is crazy. White pages, beautiful. Beautiful. So that'll be staying with me for a while. Don't see that going anywhere anytime soon. All right. Next up, a book that I don't know if it gets enough credit, to be honest with you. I feel like everyone's been talking about the first ongoing series, but not enough about the first solo book titled Wolverine. I mean, I don't know. I think this book is way cooler than the later one, the 88 or whatever. This is what, 82? Yeah. In my opinion, it's a better cover. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just got a lot going for it. A lot going for it. And I don't think I've seen a spike in this book. So when the Wolverine rumors, I think, start coming down, obviously you've got your Hulk 181s and stuff. But this is a book I feel like is still very affordable, given everything around it. So this one was really clean, except for one color breaking tick right in the black, of course. So it came back a 9.6. Still, can't be upset about that. Can't be upset about that. There were really only like, I mean, there was the new books that I sent in that I expected 9.8s on, but other than that, there were only one or two that I expected. I expected to get a lot more 9.4s, to be honest with you. Here's a cool one. I mean, you see this book all the time, Spawn number 9, First Angela, but do you see it in the newsstand? They're around because they just printed so many damn copies of this book. The best estimate I've seen is there's one newsstand for every 100 direct. I don't know if that's genuine or not. I don't think anybody knows for sure, but I think you'll find multiple sources saying that that's roughly the case. So that means that there's still quite a few of these around, but there's not a lot of them graded high grade. This book, again, I've had since childhood, like when Spawn was still new. I think it was at issue like 42, and I went in and I picked up like the first 15 issues or something like that, and they were all newsstand. So this guy's been with me for a long time. All white cover. There was some like dirt or scuffing on it when I sent it in. They got it off, and it came back a 9.8. So, yeah, that's an expensive book at a 9.8. I think that's, I don't know, anywhere from 1,000 to like 1,500 or something like that. That's Canadian, but when you consider that the standard or direct 9.8 is like 200 thereabouts, there's a major premium on the newsstand, but especially in like a 9.8, just because there aren't a lot of them. Good luck finding that. I've got one other newsstand copy raw, but I don't think it's a 9.8. I'd have to look at it again, but I don't think it is. So, here you go. Edge of Spider-Verse number 2. Obviously a big book. First appearance of Spider-Gwen. Yeah, I mean, when you think about the modern grails, this is in the conversation, right? Bought this raw. Looked really good. This was one that I thought had a really good shot. I couldn't really find anything wrong with it. I had some questions about almost like little spots of ink like in the white. I wasn't sure if it was part of the image or what. They're so small though, like you can't even really see them. But no spine ticks. So really nice copy. Spent, I think, $200 on this one. Raw. Came back 9.8. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's a big book. That's a very big book. So that was actually one that I expected to get a 9.8. I would have been disappointed with that one. All right, we still got a couple left here. Bringing it home though. This is a cool one. This one I found in a collection. It was all a bunch of loose comics, like in totes, like several hundred books. It was like $100 for the collection. Most of it was trash. Either the books were completely trashed or the books were trash. But this one was in here. And again, you'll notice the barcode. This is a newsstand. So this is Star Wars Heir to the Empire #1. First appearance of Thrawn, the big blue guy, and Mara Jade. So pretty big Star Wars key, obviously. We've got Thrawn being teased for live action on Disney+. This book is, I think, just going to continue to grow. It spiked, but so did everything. It came back down pretty hard. But I think there's definitely a future in this book. I think it's a major, major, major Star Wars key. And being that it's a newsstand, again, this one goes for a premium in the newsstand for sure. So considering that this book cost me like almost nothing, really almost nothing. But the fact that it was loose, it's got a little bit of like edge wear, a couple spine ticks. I don't know. I don't know what I thought this was going to come back. I mean, it's in the 9s, right? But I wasn't sure where. But after everything, it came back a 9.4. So very happy with that one as well. I keep saying that, but obviously I'm very happy with all these. Nothing, there were no flops. This was an interesting one. Ultimate Fallout #4. So one of the biggest books, obviously, in the submission and just in general for modern keys. It's not the 125, but even this A cover commands a major premium. This one I bought polybagged for $100 a couple of years ago, and it had, I don't know if I can show you. It's going to show up there. Let's focus. There's like a little speck there. Almost looked like an extra staple hole or something. Not going to show up, but I wasn't sure what that was going to do to the grade. Obviously, there's the fact that the poly bag was on it. I wasn't sure if the back was going to be creased up. They did a really good job pressing. That's one thing I'll say. The turnaround time right now is crazy, but they did a phenomenal job on the actual press itself. So when I got it back, I looked it over. I didn't see any creasing or anything like that. Obviously, that mark's still there, but it's really, really small. And I have to assume it was production because, like I said, it was in the poly bag like that. I don't know what it is. It's really tiny, but it's just, I thought there's no way that this thing's going to get above a 9.6. So, but I was wrong. It got a 9.8. Yep. Awesome. So that is an awesome book to have in a 9.8. I couldn't believe that this thing came back at that grade. I would have been happy with a 9.4. 9.6 was kind of like my realistic expectation. It was just like I was expecting 9.6s across the board, and the number of 9.8s that I managed to pull just blew my mind. So fantastic. These new cases are phenomenal too. These CBCS cases, they're really, really nice. So I'm a big advocate for CBCS. I hope they get their turnaround times in order, but I get it, right? It's not like you can hire graders and stuff like overnight. It's not Burger King, you know. It's like I hope they maintain their quality because that's why I submit to them. So anyways, really successful submission. The next one's going to be a vintage submission, but who knows when I'll see those again, so we'll see. Yeah, I know it's been a long time since I did a video, but I wanted to maybe try and get back in the habit. I've got some books that I bought recently, so I could put a haul video together, maybe go old school. But yeah, just wanted to kind of put my toe back in the comic book YouTube pool, so to speak. And yeah, that's it for today, guys. Thanks very much. We'll talk to you later.